Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are from Urban Digs, and it is Monday. So you're going to get your Brooklyn weekly market update. John, we missed last week. Let's make up for it this week. I'm looking at supply 2413. It looks like it's ticking a little bit higher. Show me that chart.
Yeah, I was off last week for jury duty and it ticked higher last week and it's ticking higher again this week. No, it looks like we may have seen the bottom of supply in Brooklyn as we seem to be starting an uptrend here.
That sounds about right. I mean, this time of year, the same thing's happening in Manhattan. The same forces are coming on, even though Brooklyn is in its own little world over there. We're going to keep an eye on it for you. Let's take a look at Brooklyn demand pending sales, 2794. That also looks like it's ticking up a little bit. Johnny, show me that chart.
It's ticking up a little bit. No, but the trend over the last several weeks seems to be down, which is not surprising given the time of year, but there's a lot of oscillation. So you get some weeks up, some weeks down. This week happened to be up. But you know, for a downtrend, it's not a very clear downtrend.
Yeah, I'm not buying into the downtrend's happening. I see what you're saying off the top there. And by the way, I love the new view of your charts, Johnny. Fantastic. But I'm wondering, are we going to bust out of this little thing and break that downtrend now that we're in February and going into March and April ahead? I would not be surprised if that happens, because when I look at this market pulse at 1.16 in Brooklyn, that means that there are more things in contract than there is for sale in Brooklyn. And when I look at this chart for just one moment, I'm seeing this right over here, and I'm wondering, is this as good as it gets in Brooklyn? It's a different story in Manhattan. I think leverage is going a little bit more towards buyers right now and away from sellers in Manhattan, but it looks to me like in Brooklyn, it's starting to go back up again. I don't know. Will it happen? We'll keep an eye on it for you, Johnny. In the meantime, let's go to those weeklies. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply. 198 things came on the market. Show me that chart.
Yeah, 198. It's a little bit shy of 200. Same with last week, around 191. So it's still below that magical 200 mark, which would signify sort of a nice chunk of listings for Brooklyn. But honestly, it's close, Noah. So it's good to see supply kind of returning to Brooklyn.
Yeah, we need it. Let's go to contract sign. Let's see that measure of demand. Looks like it's ticking down a little bit. 177 things went into contract. Johnny, show us that chart.
Yeah, so 177. So as much as you think supply is coming on to Brooklyn, contract signs pretty much taking them right back off. As we mentioned earlier, there is still a ton of buy side pressure in Brooklyn, and it is just not abating yet.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to look at it like this way, right? If there's 198 things coming on and there's 177 going off and then another 110 going off, that's not good for supply in general. And this is the overwhelming macro forces that's covering New York City real estate right now. And it is what it is until it isn't. And we're tracking them. So I know buyers are feeling it and they're probably frustrated. I don't know what to tell you. This is kind of how it was in 2013, 14, 15. And we keep bringing up those years because that's kind of how it feels. All right, Johnny, let's now move to the chart du jour. We're going over to Brooklyn price action and asking prices in Brooklyn. Are they mimicking what's going on with what we saw in Manhattan when we looked on Friday? And we could see that inventory, those gray bars, inventory is just going down. But when we do look at that median sales price and that blue right over there, and I am looking at median price per square foot and contract sign, we are seeing the tick up. We are seeing the tick up, but I just want to point out, John, it looks like these things weren't doing much. Like it looks like it's been stuck in this range, both of them.
Yeah, and we've been talking about that for quite a while, how the Brooklyn median price lines have been sort of just range bound for the longest time, which is surprising given the amount of just sheer buyer action happening in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But it looks like, no, you're right. It looks like they've finally broken out to the upside, especially as that supply, that inventory line looks like it's really just falling off the cliff there. So as we start to get more inventory on the market, it's going to be interesting to see how the price per square foot line, the red line, ticks up as buyers deal with a little bit more supply, but still a very active market.
Yeah, and I mean, we've all known that the townhouse, the median sales prices in the townhouses in Brooklyn is really what saw that bump in appreciation as the natural result, side effect of this pandemic that came here and hit us. Good stuff over here, Johnny. This is probably going to change over the next couple of quarters. We're going to keep a close eye on it for you. But I appreciate you pulling up all this data. That is John Walkup right over there. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We are both from Urban Digs. Don't forget, guys, you got questions, we got answers. Just go in the corner right over there. If you want to see any of the reports we discussed today, they're going to be right over here for you to download. Other than that, this has been your Brooklyn Weekly Market Update. We'll catch you next time.